Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't give up, you still have it. Giving up is the greatest failure. When you are small, you must be very focused and rely on your brain, not your strength. Opportunity lies where others complain. Today is hard. Tomorrow will be worse. But the day after tomorrow will be sunshine. If you want to be successful, learn from the mistakes of others, not their success. Forget the competition. Focus on the customer. Never stop believing. Keep going, keep learning, keep dreaming, never give up. Persistence is power. This concept is rooted in the belief that success does not come easily or quickly. It is not about achieving instant results or receiving immediate rewards. Instead, success comes to those who continue to push forward, even when faced with overwhelming challenges, obstacles, and failures. The idea behind this is simple. If you refuse to quit, no matter the hardships, you will eventually see progress. It's a mindset that champions resilience and unwavering determination. In the journey of entrepreneurship or life, there will always be moments when things seem too difficult, too complicated, or too discouraging. There will be days when you feel like giving up is the only option and the weight of failure seems too heavy to bear. It is in these moments, however, that the true power of persistence comes into play. When faced with setbacks, the ability to rise, adapt, and keep moving forward is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who falter along the way. It is important to remember that failure is not the opposite of success, but rather a part of the process. Every successful person, every great inventor, and every industry leader has faced failure at some point. The key is not to let failure define you. Instead, use it as a lesson and a stepping stone. You learn far more from your failures than from your successes because they force you to analyze what went wrong, adapt your strategy, and find a better way forward. By viewing failure as a teacher rather than an adversary, you can transform setbacks into opportunities for growth. The path to success is rarely linear. There will be ups and downs, moments of doubt, and times when you question your abilities. However, it is through persistence that you build resilience. Every time you face a challenge and choose to press on, you grow stronger. You learn to adapt to the changes that life throws at you and develop the mental toughness needed to face whatever obstacles come your way. This mental toughness is essential as it allows you to bounce back quickly from adversity and continue on your path regardless of how difficult things may seem. Another vital aspect of persistence is patience. Many people give up too soon because they expect quick results, but the reality is that great things take time. Building a business, mastering a skill, or achieving any long-term goal requires sustained effort over a long period. Instant gratification is a tempting trap, but the most rewarding achievements in life come from the ability to persist. Even when the end goal feels far out of reach, patience combined with persistence creates a powerful synergy that allows you to overcome obstacles and stay focused on your long-term vision. The importance of persistence also extends beyond personal perseverance. It encompasses the ability to keep moving forward despite external challenges. For example, in business, there will always be competition, market fluctuations, and external forces that can derail your plans. The economy may crash, your competitors may get ahead, or new technologies may disrupt the industry. In these situations, giving up would be easy. But true success lies in the ability to weather the storm, adapt to the changing environment, and continue pursuing your goals despite these challenges. There is also the reality that success is often a result of cumulative effort. A series of small, consistent actions compounded over time can result in great achievements. It's the repeated effort, even on days when it feels like progress is slow, that eventually pays off. Small steps forward, no matter how insignificant they seem, are still steps toward a larger goal. These small actions, when sustained over time, create momentum that propels you forward. This momentum is crucial as it not only keeps you moving, but also builds confidence and reinforces the belief that persistence leads to success. Persistence requires adaptability. While the ability to keep going is essential, it's also important to know when to pivot or adjust your approach. Persistence does not mean blindly sticking to a strategy that is clearly not working. It means having the flexibility to adapt to changing circumstances, to learn from mistakes, and to evolve your plans accordingly. The most successful individuals and companies are those who understand that persistence does not mean rigidly sticking to one way of doing things. Instead, it means continuously pushing forward, even if that means taking a new direction. The power of persistence is also reflected in the way it shapes character. People who persist through challenges develop a deeper understanding of their strengths and weaknesses. They become more self-aware and more capable of navigating the complexities of life. Persistence teaches discipline, focus, and the ability to overcome obstacles with grace. These qualities are not just valuable in business, but are fundamental to leading a successful and fulfilling life. Finally, it is important to recognize that persistence is contagious. When others see you persevere in the face of adversity, they are inspired by your example. Your persistence can serve as a beacon for others who are struggling, showing them that it is possible to overcome their own challenges. This can create a ripple effect where the persistence of one individual inspires an entire team, organization, or community to adopt the same mindset. This collective persistence, driven by individuals who refuse to give up, can lead to remarkable achievements and breakthroughs. Persistence is not merely about continuing to move forward when things get tough. It's about understanding that success is not a straight path. It's about resilience, patience, adaptability, and consistency. When you refuse to give up, when you persist despite the odds, you unlock your true potential. And in the end, it is persistence that transforms ordinary efforts into extraordinary results. Focus on customers, not competition. This advice has become one of the most powerful strategies in business and entrepreneurship. In a world where companies constantly compare themselves to others and track every move of their competitors, the idea of focusing on customers instead of competition might seem counterintuitive. However, understanding and implementing this simple yet profound shift in focus can transform how businesses operate, how they grow, and how they succeed. The core idea behind focusing on customers instead of competition is rooted in the concept of differentiation. When businesses obsess over their competitors, they can easily lose sight of what truly matters, the people they are trying to serve. Customers are the lifeblood of any business. Without them, no product or service will survive. If a company shifts its attention away from what competitors are doing and focuses on solving the problems, meeting the needs, and fulfilling the desires of its customers, it creates a unique position in the marketplace that is hard for competitors to replicate. When businesses focus on customers, they move from a reactive stance to a proactive one. Instead of merely responding to what others in the market are doing, businesses take the initiative to understand their customers on a deeper level. They begin to ask questions like, what are our customers truly looking for? What problems are they facing that we can solve? How can we make their lives easier or more enjoyable? By answering these questions, companies can create products, services, and experiences that are deeply aligned with customer needs, creating a loyal customer base that will remain steadfast even if competitors emerge. When businesses focus too much on competition, they tend to react to every move made by others in the industry. They start to mirror the actions of competitors, trying to match or exceed what others are doing. This often leads to a race to the bottom where companies become fixated on price wars, copying the same marketing strategies, or mimicking the same features. This approach is short-sighted because it shifts the focus away from innovation and long-term value creation and into an endless cycle of imitation. Instead of creating something unique and valuable, businesses become stuck in a loop where they try to outdo one another without truly improving the overall customer experience. On the other hand, when the focus is on the customer, companies have the freedom to innovate. They don't need to copy what others are doing because they are driven by their own mission to create value for their customers. This customer-centric approach fosters innovation because businesses are constantly looking for new ways to serve and delight their customers. Innovation is not just about introducing new products. It's about creating new ways to engage with customers, new solutions to old problems, and new experiences that make people feel seen, heard, and understood. Focusing on customers over competition allows businesses to build stronger relationships with their customers. When companies listen to their customers, understand their pain points, and show that they care about their needs, customers are more likely to develop an emotional connection with the brand. This bond goes beyond simple transactional relationships. It transforms customers into loyal advocates who will not only return, but will also recommend the company to others. Word of mouth marketing, driven by genuine customer satisfaction, is one of the most powerful and cost-effective forms of marketing, and it can have a much greater impact than competing on price or features alone. One of the biggest challenges businesses face is the temptation to follow the crowd. It's easy to see what competitors are doing and think that's the path to success. However, this mindset often leads to businesses losing their own identity. When a business is constantly copying others, it can't develop its own unique voice. In the long run, this leads to market saturation, where there's little to no differentiation between companies, and customers are left with no clear reason to choose one business over another. In this crowded space, loyalty becomes a rare commodity. Focusing on the customer, however, gives businesses a clear sense of purpose and direction. When businesses focus on meeting the needs of their target audience, they are in a better position to carve out a niche for themselves. Customers don't care as much about what the competition is doing if they are satisfied with what you're offering. If you build a strong relationship with your customers and continually provide them with value, you become their go-to choice. The competition may try to mimic your success, but by the time they catch up, your business has already evolved to meet the next set of customer needs. Customer focus is also critical when it comes to adapting to market changes. Consumer preferences, trends, and demands evolve, and businesses need to remain agile to stay relevant. Focusing on the competition may lead to a stagnant approach where companies attempt to predict and follow trends set by others. However, when businesses focus on their customers, they can better anticipate shifts in demand, tailor their offerings accordingly, and pivot when necessary. They gain a more intimate understanding of what drives their customers' decisions, which enables them to stay ahead of the curve. Businesses that focus on customers are better positioned to create exceptional customer experiences. In today's highly competitive business environment, customers expect more than just a good product or service. They expect an experience. The way they interact with a brand, the quality of service they receive, and the overall journey from discovery to purchase and beyond all contribute to their perception of the brand. Businesses that invest in creating memorable experiences and delivering personalized service stand out in the marketplace. These experiences are often what customers remember most and what makes them loyal to a brand, even when faced with alternatives. By focusing on customers, businesses can also tap into valuable feedback. Direct engagement with customers allows for continuous improvement. Instead of relying on market reports or competitive analysis alone, companies can gather real-time insights from their audience. Customers can provide valuable suggestions, point out pain points, and highlight areas where improvements are needed. This feedback loop is invaluable for refining products and services, making adjustments, and ultimately creating a better customer experience. The customer, when given the opportunity to contribute, feels valued and appreciated, which strengthens the connection between the business and the consumer. In focusing on the customer, businesses also shift from a mentality of short-term competition to long-term relationship building. Success is not just about winning a single battle or achieving one sale. It's about creating lasting relationships that provide sustainable growth over time. This approach allows businesses to build brand equity and establish a loyal customer base that will continue to support them, not because of the competition, but because they genuinely value what the company offers. By focusing on the customer, businesses align their success with the satisfaction and loyalty of those who matter most. Learn from failure, not success. In many aspects of life, people are often taught to strive for success, to avoid failure, and to measure their worth by their achievements. However, the truth is that failure holds immense value and can teach us far more than success ever could. Success often comes with a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment, but failure offers a wealth of knowledge and growth that can shape a person in ways that success never can. The ability to learn from failure is a crucial skill that separates those who succeed in the long run from those who plateau or give up when faced with setbacks. When we experience failure, it is easy to feel discouraged or defeated. We may view failure as a sign that we are not good enough or that we are incapable of achieving our goals. However, this perception is often rooted in a fear of failure and a misunderstanding of its role in personal and professional development. In reality, failure is a natural and essential part of the learning process. Every time we fail, we are presented with an opportunity to reflect on what went wrong, to analyze the situation, and to make adjustments. Failure is not something to be feared or avoided. It is something to embrace as a powerful teacher. One of the most valuable lessons failure offers is the opportunity to assess our strategies and approaches. When things don't go as planned, we are forced to step back and evaluate the choices we made. Did we take the right risks? Did we underestimate certain obstacles? Did we overlook key details? This reflection allows us to identify the areas where we can improve, and it enables us to develop new strategies that are more effective. Failure forces us to be honest with ourselves and confront the gaps in our knowledge or execution. By acknowledging our mistakes, we create the foundation for growth. Failure teaches resilience. It is easy to stay motivated and positive when things are going well, but it is during times of failure that our true character is tested. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to keep going despite the setbacks, and to find the strength to continue working toward our goals. Each failure provides an opportunity to build this resilience. As we learn how to handle disappointment and frustration, over time, resilience becomes an invaluable asset. The more we experience and recover from failure, the more confident we become in our ability to overcome future challenges. We learn to trust in our ability to adapt and persevere, even when things don't go as expected. Another lesson that failure teaches is the importance of persistence. When we fail, it's easy to want to give up, to throw in the towel and walk away. However, success is rarely achieved on the first try. The most successful people in the world have experienced their fair share of failures. They didn't get to where they are by quitting after one setback. Instead, they learned from their failures and kept pushing forward. Failure reveals that the road to success is not linear, and that persistence, even in the face of adversity, is often the key to eventual achievement. The more we fail and rise again, the more we develop a mindset that views failure as just another step on the path to success rather than a reason to stop trying. Failure also teaches us humility. It's easy to become overconfident when things are going well, to think that we have all the answers and that success is guaranteed. However, failure humbles us by showing us that no matter how prepared we are, no matter how talented or skilled we may be, there will always be things beyond our control. It reminds us that there is always room for improvement and that we must remain open to learning. Failure encourages us to stay grounded and to never stop growing. It helps us recognize that we are not invincible and that success is not a birthright, but a result of continuous effort, learning, and adaptation. Learning from failure also involves understanding that failure does not define us. We often associate failure with personal inadequacy, and when we fail, we internalize it as a reflection of our abilities or worth. This mindset can be detrimental as it can lead to self-doubt and a lack of confidence. However, failure is not an identity, it is simply an event. What truly defines us is how we respond to failure. Do we let it defeat us? Or do we use it as a stepping stone for growth? The way we choose to react to failure ultimately shapes our future. Those who see failure as a learning experience, rather than a reflection of their worth, are far more likely to overcome challenges and succeed in the long term. Failure encourages innovation. When things don't work as planned, we are forced to think outside the box, to explore new possibilities, and to come up with creative solutions. Innovation is often born out of necessity, and failure is the perfect environment for creativity to thrive. When we experience setbacks, we are not bound by conventional solutions. Instead, we are encouraged to try new approaches, experiment with different ideas, and test out strategies we may not have considered before. Failure opens the door to innovation by pushing us to think differently and to approach problems from unique angles. The fear of failure often holds people back from taking risks or pursuing their dreams. Many people stay in their comfort zones, avoiding failure by playing it safe and sticking to what they know. However, this approach limits growth. To achieve greatness, we must be willing to take risks, to step outside our comfort zones, and to embrace the possibility of failure. Failure is an inevitable part of the process of achieving something worthwhile. If we never fail, we are probably not taking enough risks or challenging ourselves enough. It is through the willingness to fail that we push our boundaries and unlock our full potential. Failure teaches us the value of perseverance and the importance of timing. Often, it is not the first failure that leads to success, but the second, third, or fourth attempt. Each failure brings with it a new set of insights and each retreat brings us closer to our goal. The key is to not be discouraged by initial setbacks, but to recognize that every failure is a lesson that brings us one step closer to success. Perseverance in the face of failure is what separates those who achieve extraordinary success from those who give up too soon. The process of failure and retrying helps us refine our strategies, sharpen our skills, and build the resilience necessary to succeed. Failure is not something to be avoided or feared. It is a powerful tool for growth and personal development. By embracing failure, learning from it, and applying the lessons it teaches us, we can unlock new opportunities for success that we would not have found otherwise. Failure is not the end. It is simply the beginning of a new path, one that is richer with experience and deeper with wisdom. Small vision, small business. Think big. This statement serves as a powerful reminder that the scale of your thinking directly correlates to the scale of your results. If you aim to create something extraordinary, you must first challenge your own perceptions of what is possible. Too many people limit their potential by setting small goals, creating narrow visions, or thinking too conservatively about their capabilities. The truth is that the size of your vision determines the scope of your impact, the challenges you'll face, and ultimately the success you can achieve. By thinking big, you expand the possibilities for what you can accomplish, push the boundaries of what is achievable, and pave the way for growth on a scale that truly matters. Thinking big doesn't just mean setting larger financial goals or dreaming of a bigger company. It's about shifting your entire mindset. A small vision is often constrained by self-doubt, fear of failure, or a lack of imagination. It's rooted in what is comfortable, familiar, and achievable within the current confines of your knowledge and experience. But a bigger vision forces you to break free from those confines, to think beyond what you already know, and to set your sights on something that inspires you, even if it feels intimidating or out of reach. The power of thinking big lies in its ability to inspire action. When you envision something greater, something beyond the ordinary, it energizes you. A grand vision fuels your passion and gives you a purpose that transcends today's struggles of business. The larger the vision, the more motivating it becomes. It challenges you to think creatively, solve complex problems, and push through difficulties. It compels you to take risks and venture into unknown territory, knowing that the rewards will be worth the effort. Small vision, on the other hand, can result in complacency. When you set your goals too low, you risk falling into a comfort zone where the drive to innovate, to push limits, and to pursue something greater fades away. Small businesses often set small visions because they are focused on short-term survival. They prioritize immediate concerns such as cash flow, competition, and market share, rather than considering long-term possibilities. While these concerns are important, focusing only on them limits the scope of what can be achieved. Businesses with small visions may find themselves stuck in a cycle of reacting to the market rather than proactively creating opportunities for growth and expansion. Without a grand vision, there's no compelling reason to disrupt the status quo or take bold steps forward. Thinking big opens up new opportunities for innovation and creativity. When you aim high, you are encouraged to explore new avenues, experiment with ideas, and seek solutions that others might overlook. It requires you to think beyond the conventional, to look at problems from new angles, and to consider possibilities that others might dismiss as too ambitious. When you think big, you challenge the traditional boundaries of your industry, your role, and your business. You look for ways to break the mold, disrupt the market, and create something truly unique. It's the foundation for groundbreaking ideas that have the potential to change the way people live, work, and interact. Thinking big brings with it a sense of purpose and vision that guides decision making. When you have a larger vision, every decision you make should be aligned with that vision. This clarity helps direct your energy toward meaningful, long-term goals rather than getting bogged down by insignificant distractions. A big vision keeps you focused and ensures that every effort you put forth has a purpose. It helps you avoid the trap of getting stuck in the details or losing sight of the bigger picture. By having a clear sense of direction, you are more likely to stay motivated and committed even during challenging times. Thinking big also encourages growth, not just for your business, but for yourself as an individual. Pursuing a large vision requires personal development and a continual learning mindset. You must be willing to stretch beyond your current capabilities and acquire new skills, knowledge, and perspectives. The challenges you face along the way will push you to grow and evolve. You'll have to develop leadership abilities, become more effective at problem solving, and learn to navigate uncertainty. A big vision forces you to improve not just your business, but also yourself. As you push the limits of what you can achieve, you become a better, stronger, and more capable person. One of the greatest benefits of thinking big is that it attracts bigger opportunities. When you have a grand vision, you begin to see the world differently. You start looking for opportunities that align with your bigger goals, and as a result, you become more attuned to the possibilities around you. A small vision may keep you focused on the same familiar avenues, but thinking big opens your eyes to a vast landscape of opportunities. It helps you recognize connections, partnerships, and collaborations that can propel your business forward. People are naturally drawn to ambitious ideas and visionary goals. When you demonstrate that you are thinking big and striving for something greater, you attract people, resources, and opportunities that are aligned with your ambitions. Your big vision becomes a magnet that pulls in the support you need to succeed. A big vision helps to inspire and motivate others. When people see someone pursuing a bold, ambitious goal, it ignites something within them. It shows them that anything is possible and that there is no limit to what can be achieved. A large vision has the power to rally a team, inspire employees, and attract investors who share the same enthusiasm for the mission. It becomes a source of energy and excitement that drives the entire organization forward. People are naturally drawn to leaders who have a strong sense of purpose and a vision that excites them. A big vision not only motivates you, but also motivates those around you, creating a ripple effect of positive energy and action. Thinking big also teaches you the importance of resilience. Pursuing a large vision means facing obstacles, encountering setbacks, and dealing with failure. But it is through these challenges that you learn the most important lessons about perseverance and grit. A big vision is not easy to achieve, and the journey will often be filled with difficulties. However, when you are driven by something greater than yourself, you are more likely to keep going when the going gets tough. The larger the vision, the more you are willing to endure and overcome the hardships that come your way. You become more adaptable, more creative in finding solutions, and more determined to push through adversity. Thinking big also creates a ripple effect. When you pursue a large vision, you inspire others to think big as well. You encourage your employees, colleagues, and even competitors to aim higher and set their own ambitious goals. It sets a new standard for what is possible and opens up the potential for collective growth. By thinking big, you help to raise the bar for everyone around you, creating an environment where innovation, creativity, and progress are the norm. Thinking big is not about being reckless or setting unrealistic goals. It is about stretching your imagination, pushing the limits of what you believe is possible, and setting a vision that inspires both you and those around you. A small vision leads to small results, but a big vision leads to big opportunities, growth, and success. By thinking big, you expand your world and unlock the potential for greater achievements, both personally and professionally. The bigger you think, the bigger your impact can be.